So I wanted to do a video about this suit coat alteration that I'm doing for a client. Sorry, client, it's taking me so long. So what happened was he needs this jacket taken in considerably from armcye to armcye. So where you would normally take alterations would be the center back, right? But because this is a single fly coat, so the fly for the coat is in the center bag, you can't really take it in on the center back. So we are taking it in on the side back. So these seams here, there's one on the other side as well. So when I fit him, he needs 2 inches out of like where the armcye is, and that's a huge problem because that means you have to reset the sleeve. And it just is, it's not hard, it's just a lot more work. And so anyway, so what you do is you release the lining, which you will have to hand sew back, and you will hand sew it about 1/4 of an inch in, so that makes sure that the lining is nice and movable. So then you take your seam and you pull it inside out. You don't have to release it all, just enough to like get in there. So then you pull it out, and so since he needs 2 inches out of this side seam, I will mark just 1 inch, so that there is a taper here, because it is just in the shoulders, so it will actually taper down to, I think it's just under 1/2 inch here. But anyway, so that means, so up here where the sleeve is, so this is the sleeve, I have to take it in 2 inches. So that's going to, if I were to just take it in, it's going to pucker on the actual sleeve back here, because it'll do something like that. So you don't want to do that. You still want this to be nice and smooth. So what you got to do is you got to take it in on this seam 1 inch as well. So you'll find that seam on the inside, my hands. This is the shoulder pad, so you can just pull that back. This is the seam here. So what you're actually going to do is, so you'll take in how much ever. So mine is 1 inch. So I'll fold it, like that. I'll take 1 inch, and then I will do a very long taper. So I'll do a long taper so it just kind of blends into the seam that's already there. So, this is 1 inch. So we'll do like a real long taper like this. So we'll you can kind of adjust it to where it just kind of molds into the seam, and it's like nothing happened. So whatever you do to the fashion fabric, you have to do to the lining. So you'll do that, and then obviously you will sew all this down by hand, doing a slip stitch, or as I like to call it, a sneaky stitch. But this side I actually already did. Let's get the sleeve out. Remember, always turn things inside out, guys. Yeah, so you can't even, I gotta iron it, but you can't even really tell I did anything. So there's the seam. It lies pretty flat. Like I said, I haven't ironed it yet, so it is still a little like wrinkly. But yeah, this is where I took the alterations in. Where is it? Like right here. You can't even tell. And then what you're definitely going to need for any kind of tailoring is you are going to need a clapper. So I actually made one at home. It's a brick that I covered, obviously so it wouldn't scratch fabric. But what that does is when you're ironing your fabric, what it does is you put it down and it puts weight on it, and it also absorbs the heat, because that's what's going to help seal the pressing in, is it cooling off. So The pressure is really important, especially on tailored fabrics, because these are really, really thick fabrics. And the only way to get really crisp edges is to put weight on it while it's hot, and then you will get a nice crisp edge. So no need to buy one. Just find like either like a board, a 2x4 scrap, or like a brick, or something that has weight and something that you can push with. So like this would not be a very good clapper because it's a ham, and so it's very bendy. You wouldn't be able to get the amount of pressure you need. So definitely get a tailor's clapper. So yeah, it's not a hard alteration to reset the sleeve. It just is just very time consuming, especially in tailoring, because some of these seams are really hard to get to. I'm hand sewing this whole thing. Also on very, very fine tailored garments, things that cost like $2,000-$3,000 for a suit coat, those will all be handmade anyway, so you do not want to use the machine on that, because it would mess up the aesthetic and like why people spend that much money on tailored garments. So I hope this helps with any alterations that you have.